Well, here are my 5 key conclusions to the whole FTX debacle. And as Winston Churchill used to like to say, he said, never let a good crisis go to waste. And I do truly believe that this can be crypto's Rubicon moment, putting this crisis to use. The first and critical way we do that is to turn the frustrations that we have into positive energy and positive outcomes. This whole experience hurts. I'm shocked. I'm disappointed, and I'm pretty angry at times at some of the details that I read about FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, and his employees, and the corrupt business practices they were getting up to. I'm also angry at venture capital funds. I mean, what were they doing in their due diligence when they gave capital to FTX in recent years? And what were regulators and politicians doing in the US in recent years? These guys had close relationships with Sam Bankman-Fried, but didn't pick up any of these challenges below the hood, which have now turned out to be absolutely egregious. But despite all of those frustrations, I'm also disappointed in myself. There were signs that these challenges did exist, and it is a reminder to be a little more skeptical. But as I've said, I think we can turn all of this frustration into excitement, because the deeper and darker this challenge and this crisis becomes, the more excited I become, because it galvanizes people to return to the principles of crypto, because those are what make Bitcoin and Ethereum valuable. That's the reason why those protocols are still robust and functioning healthily to this day. So we need to apply those principles into centralized intermediaries. And the way that we go about doing that is to enforce self-custody. That's one way. Utilizing decentralized exchanges. These, of course, reduce the role of centralized intermediaries within crypto markets. But the other ways that we can go about doing this is executing what we call proof of reserves on centralized intermediaries. So rather than these institutions working in the shadows and hopefully, the regulators are looking over their shoulder and checking that they're doing things properly, why can't we bring all of that information out into the public? And proof of reserves is a way in which exchanges or any other centralized intermediary can publish their assets and liabilities so that we as consumers can see the risk inherent in those institutions. A lot of this data can actually be automated because a number of the assets and liabilities should be sitting on chain. And so we can utilize the power of crypto technology to bring that information into the open. Listen, I don't think that proof of reserves is necessarily going to solve all of our problems. There will still be gray areas. There will still be, some liabilities that aren't on chain. And of course, you can still get fraud no matter what in a centralized organization. So we can't prevent that altogether. But at least if we can bring the information into the public, we can start to distinguish which institutions are more credible than others. As a very simple example, I'm not trying to advocate for this exchange specifically, but an exchange like Kraken has been executing proof of reserves over recent years. There's no sign that they are experiencing specific challenges in 2022. They could, but I think it's a less likely event than other exchanges that aren't executing a proof of reserves. I think it's also critical that we elevate the people that embody the principles of crypto, these principles of decentralization, immutability, censorship resistance, verifiability. There's many people that are proud ambassadors for crypto and of those principles. And I think it's quite clear in hindsight that Sam Bankman-Fried wasn't one of those individuals. So I think it's an opportunity here to elevate people like Andreas Antonopoulos, Eric Voorhees, these people that really speak the truth about the value of this technology. Also, as a community, it's an opportunity to be less tribal. There's many great principles in the Bitcoin community. There's many great principles in the Ethereum community. And in fact, the principles are largely aligned with each other. So I just encourage us as an industry to elevate those principles and always assess protocols, tokens, and institutions based on their ability to match up to those principles. So in closing, for me, the future actually here is incredibly bright as we forge a new financial system that is not reliant on centralized intermediaries. And the deeper this crisis gets, the brighter the future, because it's the weak intermediaries that are being rooted out and are failing. The crypto principles and the crypto protocols will continue to forge a sound financial system. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.